Hello and welcome to today's Ninja Trader Ecosystem webinar event with Gary and Charles of Viper Trading Systems. My name is Thomas and I am a platform representative at Ninja Trader. Today's webinar is interactive, so if you'd like to ask questions during the presentation, please open the chat window. You can open the chat window by moving your mouse to the bottom of the Zoom window and pressing on the chat icon. Now, once you do have the chat window enabled, I would like to test for audio and video. So if you can hear my voice and see the projection on your screen, please enter a Y into the chat window now. All right, looks like I'm coming in loud and clear. Now we have a very special event for you today with Gary and Charles of Viper Trading Systems. But before we get started, I would like to post a poll into the room. Now, while you're filling out that poll, I would like to mention that it's important to understand that there's substantial risk in trading commodity futures contracts. You should carefully consider whether such trading is suitable for you, and it will depend on your specific circumstances and financial resources. It is possible to lose all funds deposited with your broker and could even incur losses beyond these amounts. Please inquire at the link provided for more information or for a copy of the CFTC full risk disclosure. Also, please remember that these trading webinars are not a solicitation or a recommendation, but simply educational in nature. Now, this webinar is presented by Ninja Trader LLC, which is the technology company responsible for developing and supporting the Ninja Trader trading software. Brokerage-related questions should be directed to the brokerage team directly at the information provided or by emailing brokerage.sales@ninja.com. Now, thank you everyone for filling out that poll. That poll asked what initially brought you to the Ninja ecosystem site. 29% of you said searching for trading apps and add-ons. 58% of you said looking for trading education. 2% said looking for programming assistance, and 12% said joining for my first live webinar. Well, welcome everyone to the webinar today. Now, the Ninja ecosystem is home to hundreds of third-party apps and trading services, all centered around the Ninja platform, with new tools being added nearly daily. Ninja ecosystem is the home to hundreds of apps and services. You can quickly and easily find the tools or services you're looking for with a simple keyword search. You can also find information about upcoming webinars in the on-demand archive to view our previous recorded events. I'll post that link in the room now. For up-to-date information, be sure to like or follow Ninja's ecosystem on the social media. And Ninja is always free for advanced charting, strategy backtesting, and trade simulation. To ensure you are on the latest version of Ninja and to pick up a free live data trail, please visit the following link I'll be posting in the room. To purchase or lease the Ninja platform, you can purchase at the link I'll be posting in the room. And if you were just getting started with the Ninja platform, we offer free live trading events on a daily basis. You can view a schedule of our weekly webinars at the following link. And we are very excited for this unique event in which Gary and Charles will demonstrate some simple but powerful techniques to identify ranges, quickly spot trend changes, and trade accordingly. Thank you again for your attendance today. And without further ado, it is my pleasure to welcome to the Ninja webinar room, Gary and Charles. Please take it away, Gary and Charles.
All right, Thomas, thank you. Can everybody hear me? Testing audio 1, 2, 3. Am I coming through?
Coming through loud and clear.
Awesome. All right, let me get my screen up here. Stand by. Get over here to screen 4, I believe it is. Let me see if I got that right here. Yeah, screen 4. Share. Everybody see a slide here? Viper Trading Systems, Ninja event, February 25th?
Yes.
Cursor moving around? Awesome. All right, well, as Thomas mentioned, my name's Charles Boyle. I'm partners with Gary Donahue. I'm out here in California. We've been partners for, well, going on 11, 12 years now. Gary's in Oklahoma. You there, Gary?
I am here. Welcome,
Awesome.
everyone. We have a great webinar for you today. And I'm putting in the chat box right now about an after party. So you are invited to an after party event also.
Yeah, so let's take just 1 second. Let me open up the chat box here so I can see this. Before we get into the presentation, I just want to ask a quick question to the team. How many of you, show of hands, currently trade futures markets actively? And if you do, can you type in the instruments that you trade? So a question, do anybody in here trade futures right now? And if you do trade futures, what instruments do you trade? Just take 1 second, get some feedback here before we get rolling. Okay, we got a lot of ES traders, MES, the micros, NASDAQ, some gold traders. Awesome. We got some crude in here. YM, the mini Dow. There you go. Stock indices, 6E. Looks like some Russell. Well, I can tell you this. I think you're going to like what we have to show here because we've got a combination of that should cover most of what you trade. I've got an ES set up here. I got gold, and I got crude oil. So let's get on with it. So the agenda today is we're going to just take a few minutes and explain who we are, and how we got to where we're at, and what we do. And then it sounds pretty simple and straightforward, but we're going to talk a little bit about how to quickly identify what kind of trend you're in, whether it's up or down, and how to take long or short trades accordingly. And then we'll go into how to identify ranges, which I know if I took a poll, how many of you like ranges? Probably not. Most traders over the years aren't very fond of ranges. But the key, obviously, to trading ranges, and we'll talk about this more, is to quickly see them. And then we show how to trade them. And then you really want to try to stick around because we got this great, we call it an after party webinar event at 3 p.m. Pacific, 5 Central, where we're going to do a drawing for the lucky winner is going to get 1 full year of the full Viper package. Live trading room, all the indicators, training, everything, full access for a year, which is worth almost $5,000. So make sure you stick around for that. Gary will be putting up links for that in the chat box. So keep an eye on that and click on that to participate. All right. So a little bit about us. We mentioned we started in 2009. So it's hard to believe we're going on 12 years. Gary and I had a very simple starting. We actually met through some mutual acquaintances, and we started to talk a little bit. We got together, a very informal sort of trading room. There's some folks out of Chicago that came in once a day, very small, humble start. And then we started to develop these indicators, which you're going to see here in a few minutes. And some of the folks in this live room, this is back in 2009, early 2010, said, you know, if you were to sell those or license those, we would, you know, we would buy those and trade with you. And so from that very humble start, we teamed up with Ninja, of course. We've been exclusively with Ninja the whole time, 11 years, 12 years since 2009. We love Ninja. They're a great partner, fantastic partner, and their software is excellent. We've been through all their changes and upgrades over the year, from 6 to 7 to 8, just a very solid, reliable platform. And so what we did is we built these indicators, and we have a semi-automated trading strategy called Object Trader. Well, I don't know if we're going to be able to show that here due to time constraints, but in the after party, where you click on the link and come to that, we'll show that a little bit. Every morning, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, we have a live trading room. Gary opens that up around 5 or 10 minutes before the crude oil pit open. So if you like to trade crude, you're going to love that because he catches the early moves on crude right around 6 a.m. Pacific. I come in a little bit later, just before the equity market open at 6:30 my time. And then we trade the four instruments we have in there are ES, YM, gold, lower left-hand corner, and crudes in the bottom right. And so the way that works, just real quick, is Gary in his computer in Oklahoma shares a screen using GoToWebinar. We all dial in quite literally from all over the world. We have hundreds of traders that come in there from all over the world, and we make live trade calls. And I'll explain that a little bit more once you see a chart. Most days we try to do a trade recap where we'll show the trades that we're taking, and then we'll explain in detail, you know, how and why we took those trades. They're little sort of micro videos that people like. And then during the week, we have these training webinars that happen. Gary has Monday nights. I do Thursday evenings. And then we do 2 out of 3 Saturday mornings. And then recordings of all those for the past well, I think we weeded them out. We're probably down to 3 years. We probably have about, I don't know, 500 recordings plus in the membership area. And they're pretty good. A lot of people like those. They download them and watch whenever they have time. All right, well, enough about us. Let's move on. So the first thing I want to say about this is a cursor moving around. Can you see a little circle cursor moving around?
Yes, you can see it.
All right, cool. All right, so what you're looking at here is a NT8 platform chart, and this is ES. Of course, you can see down here, this is the March contract, which is going to get ready to roll here in a few weeks. And the way this works is this, is that we have, if you notice here in the background colors, we have a nice solid green color, which is our indicators. So in this case, we were connected to a data feed from our provider, which of course is NinjaTrader. And these are 4 range bars. This is not a high frequency system. No, this is not a high frequency system. This is something where we help you see where to enter the trades. I'll explain in just a second. Notice how the bars oscillate. You get this notion of when you're in an uptrend, of course, the thrust direction is up. So you get a push up to a swing, and then you get a pullback. Now, when you get these retracements into support, those are the long trade triggers. In addition to the background colors you see here, the solid green, of course, you can see we have bar colors, which is blue. You can't tell, but this is yellow. And then occasionally you're going to see in an uptrend a little bit of red on a deeper retracement right here as an example. And then the one thing we really used as a good indicator for giving form and structure to an unstructured financial market is this notion of these bands. See how we have 8 bands here total? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 bands below this sort of thick middle line here, which is called the mid band. And then we have 4 above it, 5, 6, 7, 8 for a total of 8 bands. Line 2 is this red line right here above band 2, and line 6, the thin green line, is just above band 6. So here's how the system works. And it's really super simple. Once you go into an uptrend with a solid background of green, predominantly blue bars, and the other thing you'll make note of is the fact that the mid band and all the bands around it are stair-stepping up very nicely. See that? That, of course, is said to be an uptrend, higher highs, higher lows. And the way we trade this is we are what we call retracement traders or pullback traders. So as I mentioned just a second ago, when you get this thrust, you get a pullback, we get a bounce. That's a long trade trigger right there. See how you're kind of in a little range here, but you're what we call sideways to up. So you're buying in here, not shorting. And when you come up to the top of these little ranges, you take a scalp trade. Now here's an example where you caught a long trade at the mid band and you got a nice little runner. See how she broke out through this 15 swing here? Went all the way up 12, 13 handles, all the way to 20, almost 28. And the beauty of this line 6 when you're in a long trade is we use that as a built-in trail stop. Notice how when you broke out of this range to the upside that the bars pretty much stayed above this line 6. See how she just kind of walked up it, walked up it, walked up it, touched it right here, and then you stopped out of that trade right here. Now, you don't have to learn all this in the next 15 minutes. I know, some people said, well, it looks simple, but it seems like it's complicated. It takes time to learn this. You don't have to feel like you're drinking out of a fire hose. We have lots of videos and training that help you see this. And I do want to show one thing real quick before I go any further. I want to show our website real quick if I can. If you can, go pop up a browser and just go ahead and put in vipertradingsystems.com. It'll pull up our homepage right here. This is the homepage, Viper Trading Systems. And then if you haven't done so, if you scroll down about midway down here, you're going to see a little link here where you can take a little free trial. So if you sign up today or tomorrow, it will take you through the end of next week. So what we do when we get this, so you click on that, put in your email, put in your name. It's really simple. There's no credit card or anything. And we get a little notice and we reply with a zip file and all the connections and information you need for next week. It's really simple. It just takes a second. And so make sure you bookmark this, vipertradingsystems.com. Okay? All right. So the last thing I want to say, and there's different types of trades that we teach. The one that's really pretty pretty strong is the mid-band trade. So you notice when we touch the mid-band and bounce, that's some pretty good long entries right there. And the other one we call a deep retracement or phantom trade, up here to the very upper right. Notice how in this final thrust, you go all the way to the 34 swing, drops down, comes right through the mid-band here, catches a bid here right at this line 2. This is a deep retracement phantom trade. The bars can actually turn red in some occasions. But notice how she catches a bid here, just under 26, and you get one more beautiful long trade. All right. By the way, just another heads up, if you pull up your chat box there, Gary just popped up the link for the our little webinar after party where we're going to do a drawing for that 1-year license. That's at 3 Pacific.
Actually,
right,
Charles,
yeah, go ahead, Gary. Sorry.
in the email, it does say lifetime license. So I've updated that. We are giving away a lifetime license instead of a 1-year license. So don't miss the after party because you have to be there to win. But that makes that worth over $50,000 lifetime license.
So we thought it was a year, but it was a lifetime.
It's in the email. It's lifetime. I did not catch that either. I apologize to everyone for that. John caught that, and we are true to our words. So the email says lifetime. It will be lifetime.
Awesome. Well, there you go. There you have it. We got a question from Dave H. The link to the after party webinar is not on the website. There's no link here for that. This is just our regular, our webinars, homepage, etc. You need to click on the link in the chat box to get the link for the after party webinar. Okay. All right, cool. All right, well, let's move on. I don't see any questions on that. Let's move on to start talking about short trades. Now, the opposite is true of taking trades in a downtrend. You're actually looking to sell or short retracements into resistance. Now, notice here on the right, when you come out of this little sort of consolidation area, and by the way, this chart is gold on the April expiry contract. I'm not certain exactly what day this was. We had to prep this up about a week or two ago, so this is a little bit older chart. On the left here, you can see that coming into 6 a.m. my time Pacific, we kind of had a little consolidation patch here where we oscillated around up and down through the mid-band. This is more your range-bound situation that we're going to talk about in a few minutes. But then notice you get a very precipitous drop here where you take the support level out, you punch down, the background turns red. Notice how the bars are predominantly red. And instead of going up, the mid-band and all the bands around it are clearly stair-stepping down like such. So, true to its form, what we want to do in this case is sell or short rollovers. This time frame, Gunter, is 4 range bars. Now, let me explain something real quick. Let me pull back and pause because we get this question all the time. Well, why don't you use 1-minute bars, or why don't you use a 2-minute bar and reference a 15 or 30-minute for your trend direction, or 60-minute and trade a 5? Trust us. 8, 9, 10 years ago when we started off, we used to do that. And the issue we ran into was that when you use time-based bars, you can get a lot of bars just all in a short span of time, just chopping around, and then bam, 1-minute bar, huge, like 40 ticks. And then you just get sort of slopping around. So in the end, you can actually put our indicators on a time-based chart. We're not saying you don't have to do that. And we know what some traders do that. Our indicators will work on any time frame. Renko bars, minute bars, 6, 10-minute bars, range bars. It all works. We just have the sweet spot of 4 range, and we've done that for a lot of years, and it's worked pretty well for us. We use 4 range bars on all instruments. Now, let me put a caveat on that. Lately, we have been doing this notion of correlations where we correlate the equity markets with each other. And specifically what I mean is that I personally use a larger bar on NASDAQ and YM, like a 12, an 8 or a 12 range. And what I do is I take trend direction from that, because sometimes the algorithms that run against NQ and YM lead ES. Okay, they lead ES, sometimes by as much as a minute and a half. So let me go back here. I don't want to digress, but I want to explain that for a second. If you take a NASDAQ chart and a YM chart and you put it right next to an ES chart, you will find that the algorithms that the large banks and the institutions run against those instruments will just slightly lead ES. And it can be a few seconds. It can be, like I said, up to a minute, minute and a half. And that's a little edge that we get when we trade these markets. So I'll be looking over here, say at a NASDAQ chart. I'll see that it bottomed out. I'll notice that it's starting to head up. And we might get a situation where ES is stuck like this. In fact, in that after party today, I'm going to show this. I'll actually show this. And so what you're doing is you're preparing yourself for ES to follow NASDAQ, and many times it will. In my example here, of course, you can see it took off and followed. I'll show that today in more detail, but that's how we use that. Yeah, those two correlations. We used to have a correlation with gold. If you remember before this whole COVID thing, the gold chart would move in an inverse direction to ES, much like the way the dollar index DX moves against 6E. You know how those two are opposite of each other, mirror image of each other, and sometimes 6E will move faster than dollar. So let's say 6E hypothetically was going up. You can get comfortable getting ready to short the dollar, knowing that that's coming. So it was a very similar thing, but after COVID, that's broken. Now gold does whatever it wants. And it doesn't tie to the equities anymore, unfortunately. Yeah, the inverse correlation, if you trade in 6E between dollar index. So if you trade in 6E, you pretty much want to have those charts right next to each other, 6E and DX. And our indicators can run against those charts as well. Okay? Let me just finish this and I will come back. I see there's a couple other questions. So yeah, very similar. So what happens here is we're in a downtrend. You notice that the bars can come up. They kiss off the midband here. There's a short roll there, short entry here. Deep retracement phantom here, just above line 6. Roll over. This is still short. Beautiful breakdown here. Here you went from 71 and change all the way down to 64. That's 70 ticks. That's a beautiful gold short. Another kiss and roll here, a couple, 3 of them. And then notice when she broke through this this kiss and roll here off of 66 and change, this last one, that was just monster. Look how monster that was. You went all the way from 66-ish all the way down to 55, almost 50. So this is a 100-tick drop. That's just awesome. That's just a beautiful trade. Yeah. So, I think everybody would agree that one of the most important things to do when you trade these markets is you got to know what the trend is. If it's going up, you're pretty much taking longs from support, right? If it's heading down, you're just shorting those rollovers. And let me go ahead and take any other questions on this. Well, the only predictive part of it, I would say, Richard, that's a good question. And I, for simplicity's sake, I took this one indicator off of this chart of all these charts. We have another indicator called the predictors. If I had them on here, it would just be slightly a little more cluttered and harder to explain. But when you come in the after party, we'll show you the predictors. Now, what those are real-time support and resistance that are ovals that paint and print in real time. So they'll actually show what the markets. So they're kind of like little bubbles with lines in them. And so that will come out and you'll see that above and below the market as it moves. So in a downtrend, for instance, those predictors will stair step down like this. And when it consolidates, they're going to go sideways. But for simplicity's sake, I didn't put them on here. Okay. This instrument is the 2 we've covered so far. If you just came in, is we just showed a long uptrend taking long trades on ES March contract, and then we just showed shorting in a downtrend on the gold contract. Okay. All right. Well, let's move on. Let's start to look at a range here. Now, if you trade crude oil, this is an old. You've seen crude now is at like 60, 63. So this is a couple of weeks old chart. But back when it was trading in that 52, 53 range. Now, the way I show on this chart how when you have a well-identified, clearly identified support and resistance area right here. See how you have support pretty well defined here and you have resistance pretty well defined up around this 50-20, 50-25 area. I'm showing you can trade both sides. So you come up, you short, roll over at resistance inside the range, and you buy to cover. You go ahead, you take a long trade at the mid band there, take your profits top of the range, you put a line up here, and you want to fade that a little bit, or you don't hit it right here. You're going to fade that a little bit by 4 or 5 ticks, right? Then you flip it, short the rollover, buy to cover down here under the mid band, go ahead, flip it, take a long, etc. You get the idea. Now, in reality, what color is just pop quiz? Some of you only been looking at this for less than half an hour. What color is the background on the indicator here? The color of the background that you see on this chart right now. What color is that? Yeah. It's a solid green color. And if you note here to the left, see how the bars were coming up from a lower level here? See how they were punching up real nice like that? Now, we have a term for this that's called sideways to up. Sideways to up is just simply saying that you're consolidating after an up move. So when you have a case where you have a solid green background all the way till over here where you get the transitional color, that for the most part, you would probably be wanting to only take the long trades here. See that? And instead of shorting the top, you just be taking profit up there. So you're taking long trade, take your profit, stop out. Long trade, take your profit, stop out, etc. And one of the reasons we do that when we approach a sideways to up situation like this is that it's quite possible that over here to the right, I don't have the end of this chart. I'm not sure exactly what happened after this point, but because this is the crude pit open right here at 6 o'clock. If we get trend continuation, what will happen is that you'll start to get higher lows, and then eventually this resistance at 53.25 will, it'll break out, and you'll get a continuation upward, breaking up like that. And so what we're saying, to be clear, is if you're shorting the top of the range and you do get trend continuation to the upside, you're going to get stopped out on that last trade. So we recommend in a sideways to up condition like you see here, pretty much be buying the dips. As you can see here, that the mid band and all the bands around it are still stepping up, and you do have that solid green background.
Charles, can I mention something too, just real quick?
Sure.
Just to let everybody know, in the after party, we'll also be showing a little tool that we talk about boxing in at mid bands and also trend lines. We have a tool that you can actually literally use Ninja's drawing tools and boxes and things like that, and take those trades in real time, because we're drawing them on our charts and we know right where they're going to bounce, and we simply box them in.
Right. Yeah. So for instance, in this case right here, if we had a crude chart in our live room that looks similar to this, we would make note of the fact that there was support down here right around this 87, 85 to 90, 92 area, right? Just kind of around this line 6. See how that's kind of holding right in here? And we would say that this is long short. Just to be clear, we'd say that's the long short area, and you're long above that, so you're buying the dips. And so when Gary says box in, what he's referring to is that OT tool where you quite literally can take a box, you draw a box around, you engulf the candles where you want to take a long in this example. And when you close outside of it, well, there's a lot of functionality of the tool, but the most basic level, when it closes outside of it, you have a market order fire to get long. So let's do, for instance, let's say you got long on that bar right there. You box this area, it's support, closes outside of it, market order. Let's say hypothetically you're trading 2 contracts. You have a scalp trade that you want to take off at 10 ticks. So it pops up, you get your scalp off, and then we engage a trail on the runner. Gauge a trail, gauge a trail, gauge a trail. And then once it reverses here at resistance, you stop out. That's pretty much the basics of most of the sort of the basic level of getting in trades. We recommend at least 2 contracts if your account can afford it, because you can get the scalp off. And once you get the scalp, normally your initial stop is somewhere around 10 to 12 ticks behind your entry, your protective initial stop. And what we do, and OT can do this automatically for you, is once the 10 ticker is off, we take the OCO, so the remaining stop comes up to 2 ticks behind your entry. Now you have what we call a free trade. Free trade means that no matter what happens, you would still net 8 ticks, right? You got the 10 on the scalp, and your remaining stop comes up to 2 ticks behind your entry. And then, you know, some inventory crazy thing comes in from somewhere, and all of a sudden it tanks. You would just stop out and net 8. So we like that. That's a good approach to trading that a lot of our traders like and use. And the final thing I want to say on this range bound situation, you have to realize that our rule of thumb is the minimum size from top to bottom is 20 to 25 ticks. We have found that if you are in a tighter range, that's only say 10 or 12 or 15 ticks in size, by the time you fade those levels in and out, say by 4 or 5 ticks, plus commission and slippage, there's just no money in a range that's tight. So when I say fade, meaning that you're getting in somewhere here with the box, you never get the exact dot swing here. You know that, right? So you box this in, you get on that candle. And then when you get out, you want to fade it, so you're getting out here. So you never get the exact bottom or exact top. What we want to do is just sort of catch the meat in the middle of the trade. That's how we approach it. 20 to 25 ticks for all markets is sort of your minimum. Once you're under that threshold, I can't show it right here. Maybe I can go back. Hold on. Well, looking here to the left, this range looks to be, well, let's see. You got support down here at 06. See, this is 9 points times 4 is 30, 36. So this is still tradable. But if you traded ES, you know there's a lot of times she can go in those little sort of funky little 10, 12, 15 tick, just sideways, just kind of sitting there, you know, that you really want to avoid that. Yeah, because that'll just, you know, if you've been through that, you know what I'm talking about. It'll just chop you up. There's no meat on the bone there. There's got to be some meat on the bone. And so this example on crude is clearly showing that there was plenty of meat on the bone here. You got support at 90, you know, resistance up here at 25-ish. So that's the better part of a 35-point range. So very tradable. Yeah, this is very tradable.
Charles, just real quick too, a question's coming in. Are your indicators available? He's showing Ninja 8 right there for HH that is typing in that question. Our indicators are totally available on Ninja 7 and Ninja 8. Now, we've got some work being done on Object Trader in Ninja 8, but it's very, very close to even being finished on it. And one other thing I want to mention too, before Charles gets through, we'll also show you where you can go to our homepage and actually get a free trial of our product. We don't ask for credit cards or anything, just simply you put in an email, you give us your machine ID, we turn the scripts on for you, and you can play with it to your heart's content. And come to our room and everything and see us in action.
Yeah, so if you're coming in late, I see some folks just sort of coming in here at the last minute. So it's okay. We're showing you here the website vipertradingsystems.com, and then about a quarter of the way down here is that link that Gary's talking about right here. Just click on this button, just put in your name and email, and then you'll get a little zip file with the scripts and everything in it. You'll get a link. Like next week, for instance, you'll get all the links to the room, all the training webinars. So for a week or so, it'll be pretty much like you're part of the Viper team. So I suggest everybody, if you can, go ahead and take advantage of that free trial. Okay.
Just real quick, another 2 questions coming in.
Okay.
On which indicators or principles does the green, red clouds area generate? That's actually just proprietary to the way everything that we have designed over the years. There's no lagging or anything like that. Everything is based on price action. Do you require the full Ninja package? Well, basically, Ninja Trader has always required a lifetime license if you want to trade real money on their charts, like Chart Trader or strategies and things like that. But our indicators will work on the basic free subscription.
Right.
And Charles will show
feed.
that link for the free trial too here in a few minutes.
Yeah, so sorry, Gary. Sorry. Here's the free trial link, vipertradingsystems.com. And let me go ahead and get over to the I don't see any questions on ranges. So let's move on to the final slide here. This is the webinar after party we've been talking about. Here's the link. It's in go to webinar, and it'll start at 3 Pacific, 6 Central, or no, 5 Central, 6 Eastern. And Gary and I will pop up some other charts and things and show a little bit more detail on how this all works. So it's pretty cool. And then of course we got that drawing. We thought it was for 1 year, but our paperwork said lifetime, and we will honor that lifetime license with Viper Trading. Now you have to be there to get that. What happens is we'll go through all our presentation. We'll show you some charts, and we'll show you real-time things that happen today instead of the sort of the old data a little bit here. You'll see what ES did. We had a monster sell-off. You traded ES, it was down 90 handles, I think, at the close. Huge sell-off on the Dow. I think it closed down here. I'm looking at Bloomberg. Yeah, 96 handles down on the S&P and 559 down on the Dow. Of course, we all know NASDAQ tech stocks are getting hammered. There's a rotation. Everybody knows there's a rotation going on right now, right? So yields on the 10-year bonds are going way up, and they're coming out of the techs and they're moving into cyclicals. So that's the rotation we're dealing with now. And these huge sell-off gives us huge opportunity to make good money. It's pretty rare when you get a 90 handle day on ES, but when you do and you short it today, you let that puppy ride.
Okay, Charles, just real quick. Can you show the link? We didn't see it on the screen for the homepage so they can get the trial.
Oh, yeah, sure. That's on right here.
And another question, how long will the after party normally last? Usually about 30 to 45 minutes tops. And we will make the drawing with a random generator for a lucky person that's in there to be the winner of the lifetime license.
Yeah, we use a random generation tool. So whoever's in there gets dumped into a bin. We have a little piece of software that, sort of it's akin to like, what was that, with the balls, bingo or whatever, sort of rolls it around and it spits it out. And then, so we don't have any influence on who ultimately gets it. It's a random thing on the software. It's 3 o'clock Pacific, which is 5 Central, 6 Eastern. So if you go in the chat box, Gary posted a link there. It has the times, has the link. Make sure you just click on that. Go ahead, put your name and email in. As soon as you hit submit, boom, you're good to go. It'll send you a little reminder link. So come about an hour from now, we'll be in there.
Yeah, and in that webinar, we'll be showing you also the Object Trader tool in Ninja 8 that'll be coming up very shortly also.
Cool. All right. Does everybody have the link for the after party? Everybody got the free trial link from our website? Make sure you do both if you can. Come join the after party. Go try to get that drawing. Get a free lifetime license with Viper. Come take a free trial. This is nice. We're going to have a whole big thing for you next week. Make sure you come participate. Kick the tires. See what it's like to be part of the Viper team. See live trades called in the room. Get some training in. It's pretty awesome.
HH, on your question, there's not really a price for the trading room only. It's a complete package, and we always offer a very, very good promotional type of a deal to get in with us. And we've had people come in and stay literally forever because they keep that price. Charles, I still didn't see, for some reason, it's not showing that screen that our homepage is on.
All right. I might have to do a stop share and a reshare. Stand by.
Okay.
Stop share, reshare, screen 4.
There it is.
For some reason, when I was popping the website up, it was not showing. Probably the slides were still up, huh?
Yes.
Sorry about that. So this is the website here, ViperTradingSystems.com. On the homepage, tries for free, 7 days right there. All right. I think that's pretty much it. Any final questions, anybody? Any final questions? That might be it.
Well, just real quick to let everybody know, I had thought, and I apologize, that we were just doing a 1 year, but our email actually did go out as a lifetime subscription. And we only did that one other time, but that is an extremely good deal, because if you think about it, if you stayed with us for like 10 years, where we've got some people that have been with us ever since we opened our doors, literally almost 11 years ago, that's a huge deal, because you'll have your scripts turned on forever, and your email will always be in, where you get all the links and the webinars, the training, everything. So be sure and attend that after party webinar, and it's right there on your chat. You just have to click that go to webinar to register and join us in the after party in 1 hour and 6 minutes.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, it's not connected to the website. So the only place you can get that is from right here in these links in the chat box. You can't go in here to any of these links and find the after party link. Okay, so now I'm not going to show it, but if you, the join shows some of the costs to join. I wouldn't suggest doing that right now because if you come in and you do a free trial with us for a week, we do have a little promotional thing we do. So don't go sign up here. Come in for a week and spend some time with us, and then we have a special, promotional thing that we do for you. Okay.
Penny, on your question, basically, when you come into the trading room each and every day, we open the trading room from 7:55 Central Time to 10 o'clock in the morning. I open that room at 7:51 approximately every single day, and there are trades called right there on the charts and everything on 4 charts, as well as at 8:30 when the regular market opens. We also call those trades too, and that's when Charles joins me in the trading room. And we keep the trading room open for just a little over 2 hours every day.
Yeah, we have a saying that we've had for a very long time. It's called one and done. Nicely green, turn off the machine. And so, where some systems promote trading as much as you can, capitalize on as much volatility as you can, make as money as you can every morning, we are quite the opposite. We want you to have a good, solid trading goal. We want to, try to get that for you with 1 or 2 trades tops. Okay, we will call and see more trades than 1 or 2. So that's not what we're saying. There'll be tons of calls in the room and live data. But many times, a lot of our traders come in 6:30 my time. By 7 o'clock, they'll catch 1 or 2 opening trades and they're done. They're on with the rest of their day. They hit their goal and they're done. So that's really what you want to do. I don't know that we can quote an actual accuracy for our winning trades, but I can tell you this, that on those 4 charts every morning, it's pretty rare for us to have a losing trade. I mean, we're not perfect. We're not robots. We're not algorithms, but we're pretty good. I mean, I can't remember the last time we had a losing day. I can't even remember when that was. That's got to be years ago. But the accuracy is very high. I can't quote you an exact number. I can just say it's very high. All right. I think that might be a wrap. Any final questions before we go? Do want to thank you, Thomas, for letting us come in and present our things to the people, the traders. Appreciate everybody sticking around. Hope to see everybody in about an hour or so at our little after party. And that's a wrap, I think.
Richard, a couple of questions before we do wrap, just real quick. Devin saying, I think I need this. I'm tired of losing trades. Let's see. Does your software automatically trail stops? Yes. Do the 7-day start from 5 business days? Well, basically, if you signed up today for the trial, for instance, you would be all the way through next week, next Friday, and could very well even go another week after that. We want you to see our system. Let's see you guys in an hour. Thanks. Awesome session. Great. All right. That looks like a wrap. Be sure I'm going to put that in one more time so that everybody will have the link. Bear with me 1 second, and I'm going to put it in because we want you to come to that after party. It'll be worth your time because somebody will walk away with a complete subscription to our system for life.
Yeah. I think in all the years we've been doing this, there's only one other time we did this, and that was a long time ago. So if you want your shot, this is the time to do it. Click on that link. Come to the webinar. All right, Thomas. Thanks a lot, my friend. Appreciate the time. I think we're good to go.
All right. Again, thanks everyone.
All right. Well, I'd like to give a special thank you to Gary and Charles of Viper Trading Systems for a great presentation today. Everyone in attendance will receive an on-demand recording of today's event, so please keep an eye out for that email. NinjaTrader Ecosystem is pleased to sponsor these weekly vendor events as a value-added service to our clients. If you find value in these events, we hope you will attend them on a regular basis. We would like to remind you that the information today provided in this was of that of Viper Trading Systems and not of that of Ninja Trader. All information was for educational purposes and should not be construed as trading advice. Again, we appreciate the time you spend with us today. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we hope to see you in future webinars. Happy trading from all of us here at Ninja Trader Ecosystem.